There's lots of things been happening even since you've been in. So let's go through some of these now. Gas. I mean, one of the first things, 27.5% increase. Was there any other options on that table? I mean, potentially.
Well, there's always potentially options. Whether they're realistic options or not,
any realistic
ones? And wholesale gas prices have gone up 400%. Mm-hmm. That is a fact. We the last Tynwald settled on a path to have proper regulation through an independent regulator put around gas. And the independent regulator formed a view after intensive discussions with the gas company, with Manx Gas, that the company was losing substantial sums of money in the current situation, and therefore that the only way to correct that issue was to bring about a price rise to that level. Now, broadly, when you look across what's happening in the UK and potentially further afield, it's not exactly a surprising figure. Mm. You can see even across in the UK that bills are potentially going to rise up to £400 per year, and that's broadly where we are at the moment.
You haven't been against nationalisation in its greater terminology up to about the steam packet here. Would that be something that at the end of the day the government takes it over and runs the gas business?
There's no move towards privatisation. Nationalisation. The point of having the independent regulator was to try actually distance the political element in terms of having to vote through price rises, put that in the hands of a body who are operating within a regulatory framework to ensure that the gas company was fulfilling its obligations and that there was an independent control mechanism to ensure that they were making appropriate profits. Mm.
You put in this, I think, £1 million package for the low end and those vulnerable. Is that something that you've absolutely got to make sure that you get this right, that people won't just turn off their heating?
When these policy matters come through, then government's got to react to the situation. And absolutely, when you have a price rise of that magnitude, then government has got a responsibility to protect those who are going to be least able to deal with the situation, and we'll have to consider more broadly whether there are other mechanisms brought into play to try and shield people who fall outside that bracket. But these are difficult situations to manage. They're not always easy. There will be implications, but it's not just gas that there is a concern at the moment. Inflation figures are starting to push up now towards 5% on the island. I expect there to be significant pressures potentially in other areas over the winter, food prices for example. So there is a host of issues that will need very, very careful monitoring as we go through this winter. But government's immediate obligation is to ensure that the right package comes forward now to protect those, as I say, that we are aware of on this island who are most exposed.
Of course, the biggest customer of Manx Gas is yourself, and Nobles were on a fantastic rate when they were obviously getting it cheaper, but now it's gone the opposite way. Isn't that going to have major headaches for you making that all add up, because you're buying at very expensive rates, aren't you now, for the Nobles and no doubt other government departments?
Of course, there's going to be impacts potentially in terms of our own energy usage and the cost potentially that will may filter through in terms of the rate that's been negotiated for the extensive use of gas that is being used by, for example, Nobles Hospital. But we will deal with that. I mean, we've got the capability to deal with that. That's why I'm saying, we will get out now a package and confirm the package. I know the Treasury Minister's already outlined it in detail, but we'll be bringing that forward in more detail, making sure the public are properly aware about how they what they'll be entitled to and how they'll be able to claim that.
Let's talk about Nobles Hospital a bit more. I mean, the anaesthetist situation. I mean, we've known about this for a long time, and as was the Health Minister, did allude to on a radio interview, but it wasn't pushed on what exactly was going on, but he wouldn't have said anything more anyway.
I think the health service is facing a number of pressures and has been for months, for over 18 months. I think I heard the Chief Executive from Manx Care this morning on the radio acknowledging we've got a shortage, an anaesthetist shortage. That is clearly a matter of concern
because there's something else going on, right?
For the government.
And
it's a matter of concern for the government that we have a shortage of anaesthetists. We're looking at that situation incredibly carefully. We've got a new health minister just gone in. Paul, with all these situations, that does take some days to actually understand what sort of policy response we need to bring forward.